Hi there, I'm Pastor Tim Cummings. I'm glad to be with you tonight and with New Creations Broadcasting and Richmond, Indiana, 47374. Our phone number is 765-220-0469. We're just so glad to be with you and so glad to just to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. And today, as the Lord leads, we want to minister to you about having a burning heart for Jesus. Now, I don't know, when you first get saved, you have this burning heart. And it really burns within you when you first get saved. And as time goes on, the world and the things in the world really give you a challenge. And so when you first get saved, you have this blistering, burning desire in your heart for Jesus. And when Jesus gives you a vision or a project, that he wants you to do, your heart just burns inside of you to want to do it. I mean, you have such excitement inside of you that it's just unbelievable what is there. Sometimes you even rush. I've done this. Sometimes even rush out and start doing the burning vision that God's called me to, and I get ahead of God, and then the feeling of the burning desire starts dying out because I'm ahead of God. And I've done that so often. I can't tell you the number of times that, I have this zealousness and this zeal to want to do something for God. And I don't know whether sometimes maybe it might be bad for me in my particular case. And but then there's times you're moving along, doing the vision, and all of a sudden something hits you or kicks you, and the very burning, and it kicks the very burning out of you is what it does. It just, the burning, it was so intense and so on fire, and then all of a sudden, you just feel like you lost everything. Sometimes when you get sick, that'll come. You'll get to that point where you'll just have it, and you'll have that burning and really be desiring to be that burning desire, and I want that burning in my heart all the time. And Luke chapter 24:32 is where it comes by. It's talking about, and they said one to another, did not our hearts burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the scriptures? They were on the road of Emmaus, and Jesus was walking with them, and they got this burning heart because Jesus was there. And I think that's what happens is you get this burning heart and you get this real desire to want to do something for God. And I'll tell you, the world has there's so many things that were just there to try to stomp it out and beat it out of you and kick it out of you. And yet I want to make it clear, there will be times when you will have no burning heart. Your burning heart will be a suffering heart. You're feeling sick and you don't feel good. You don't have an up day. You don't have you're not having a up month, up week, up 6 weeks. And I've had some of those. In fact, I'm having one, and this week, and just all that burn that I had within me just feels like it's been kicked out of me. Our desire will be to run as fast and as quick as we can away from everything when we don't have that burning heart. It's just, you just want to just get out of it. Let me give you some experiences of that. I experienced that during March of 2007, before my mom died. I took my mom to the hospital, and 3 times we told her goodbye, and each time she rallied back, and we'd get high on the mountain, and every time she came back, when she'd come back, man, that would give you just everything. But you got to realize that this burning isn't from a desire within you. It's the desire that God puts within you. And you got to do it, and you got to keep going, and you got to keep pushing, and you got to get some life in you, and you got to get some desire in you. And you can get so negative sometimes, and you get so down sometimes that you just don't feel like you want to do anything. It's called a roller coaster. It's basically what it is, of emotions that would cause our burning to die within us. You're going up like this one moment, and then you're heading down as fast as you could go, straight down. It seems like you just come over top of the hill and it's just, it's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible, and you can't get up in the morning. You fight it in the morning. You fight it at lunchtime. You make all kind of excuses. But we must never let the enemy knock out our burning desire out for Jesus or for the vision that Jesus called us to do. Have I? Yes, I have. Several times. But you got to keep that burning desire. We must get to the point that no matter what we go through, we don't lose the burning desire for Jesus. It's like he's right here beside me. He's right here with me. It's right here as my friend. And that burning desire is within me that's so passionate. No matter how many roller coasters we're on, we should be able to recover. No matter how many times we go up and how many times we come down. All of us are going to have times when we go up and it's ecstasy, and come down and it's miserable. And some of my rough times is when we've had no sun in a day. It's gloomy all day. I've had a rough day over cloudy days or rainy days or extreme cold or hot days and snowy days. I've had those. I've had them, there's lots of things that wants to knock the burning out. My mom's situation really knocked the burning out. And it took me days to get over that. And my mom went on to live several years more. And we lost our mom, and she's a wonderful lady, and loved her much. But that experience it tore at me, and it hurt inside of me. And that's the way it is when you want to have that burning desire. You always want to be so full of it, so burning for God. I've had people said they've watched me preach at times, and I get so burning for God they could actually see a flame where I was just burning for the Lord Jesus Christ. And I've had times when I preached and here's what I find: I got to keep on preaching. I got to keep on ministering. I got to keep on giving. I got to keep on taking captive the thoughts that keep targeting me and beating on me and just kind of drown me out and try to knock me out. I got to take captive of those thoughts and bring them into the amazing Jesus that we are in. And no matter how much struggle you have, no matter how much problems you have, your heart's been ripped out of you. You get up in the morning and you worry. Worry will do it. Boy, I'll tell you, worry will take it out of you quicker than worrying over something that might not even happen. I worry sometimes about not doing enough for the Lord, and I know that's wrong. And I'm sure, some of you might worry about your kids or your situation or whatever it may be, but worry will destroy you. I mean, it just will beat on you. But you got to keep burning. You got to keep burning. You got to keep burning, even when you got to worry and you see it down the. When you walk by faith, sometimes you don't see the ultimate end. That Hebrews 11:1. You're hunting for something that you don't see, and you're looking for something that you don't see, and then you got to trust God to bring you through it. And sometimes it's easier to trust God. Say the words, well, I trust God for salvation, but don't trust God for the daily rations or the daily needs that we have today. It's just terrible sometimes. But keep on burning. Let's find a way to keep the burning heart experience at all times. We got to work at it. I have to fight it all the time. I have to battle it all the time sometimes. And then there's times I go for a year, month, 6 months. See, when Jesus or his words gets into your heart, Jesus becomes alive again in our heart, and our vision comes back to us. Now the trouble with that's easy said, but it's hard to get it to come back when it's knocked out of there. When you've been punched and punched and punched, it's hard. That burning to do his work and to live for him returns to us. It'll return to us. But boy, you got to go through so much to get through to that point. We must learn how to keep the burning in our heart burning. I mean, you got to, God, I'm going to keep this one way or another. I'm going to stay with you, God, one way or another. And you got to do that. And we must get Jesus or his word to come into our heart so the burning heart will remain within us. It's got to remain within us at all times, so we would continue serving Jesus and doing the vision. Sometimes I lose mine by not preaching maybe for 2 weeks or something. And we must stop any emotion that slows or stops our burning desire for Jesus down. Oh God, I don't like it when my burning is you ever felt like I had this burn and burning desire to do something for God, and it's excuse me, you just got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing. And you say, is there any other way out of it? I don't know of any other way. I wish I could. I wish I could give you a route out of it. I wish I could say to you that, well, this will be easy, that'll be easy, this will be easy. Nah, I ain't going to do that. No other burning desire must replace the burning desire for Jesus or his vision. No. You can't let that take place. You can't let it. You got to stop it. You got to abide in Jesus. You got to continue to abide in him and abide in him and abide in him and abide in him. And even when you're targeted with your phone calls ringing in your ears and everything's targeted at you, the only way not to lose your burning heart is to be able to abide in Jesus and his word. John 15:1, I am the vine, the true vine, the true vine, the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. John 15:1 says that I'm the vine. Jesus is the vine. I wish that I could say to you it's easy. There ain't nothing easy about. You know, you're running the race, and you got to stay in that race until you win it. And no matter what you do, you got to fight it. You got to battle it. You got to war it. And you got to keep going on and 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 going on. And this burning desire that gets there, when it hits you, I mean, when it hits you, you're like you're lit with a match, and you're just consumed with it all. But then the devil comes in and kicks you in the gut, has a bill for you that you forgot about, has a challenge for you that you missed, and that's when you better be hooked to the vine. I tell you, there's no other way. You got to be hooked to the vine. And there's two kind of people. There's fruit bearers and there's non-fruit bearers. I want to be a fruit bearer. All my life I want to be a fruit bearer. John 15:2. Every branch that's in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it, that it may bring forth more fruit. I want to bring fruit together, don't you? I don't like not bringing fruit. I want to bring fruit. I want to bring fruit more than anything else in my life. I want to bring God's fruit. And I don't like this desire being knocked out of me. I don't like the feelings. Do you like all those feelings and emotions that come in? And you say, well, I have them all under control. Baloney. I don't care what position you are. And if you don't have Jesus, man, I don't even know how you got a chance to make it. I really don't. You know, you could say, well, that's a crutch. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Because Jesus is my everything. He's my morning. He's my cup of coffee. He's my ice cream, and I love ice cream, but he's everything. And nothing goes beyond what my God can do for me. You can't compare it to food. You can't compare it to nothing. You can't even compare it to sin, because when you have that burning desire, it's higher, it's bigger than all the sin burning that you have. When you have that sin burning, you have that same desire. You have a burning desire inside of you to do that sin, and that sin just, it tackles you. It kind of grabs hold of you. It tries to shake you and everything. But you got to stay abided in the vine. And I want you to know that's not easy. I don't want you to think that I'm here to say to you that you can abide in the vine real easy. It's not. We as Christians are cleaned and renewed by the Word. It's the Word that cleanses us. It's the Word that cleanses us up. It's the Word that challenges us. It's the Word. John 15:2. Every branch of me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it. See, I know I've said that twice to you, but he's going to purge you sometimes when you're not bearing fruit, and that it may bring forth more fruit. He wants you to bring fruit together. And we're cleansed. And 15:3 goes on and says, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Want cleaned up? Let Jesus' word cleanse you up, clean you up. The only way to keep a burning heart is to keep with Jesus or have him in your present, in the presence. You got to have Jesus in the present, in the second, in this moment, in this day. And when you get by yourself and you start to thinking, do you ever start to thinking and all these stupid things come in your mind and you just feel like, well, I'm drowned, and then you gotta overcome it. You gotta get back in the vine. You gotta figure out some way to get back in the vine, and you can't walk away from it. And you can't say, well, I'll just kill myself. Well, that's dumb. You know, that's what's that going to accomplish? That's not going to accomplish anything. And you got to get out of that mood. And our lives are nothing without Jesus, without our Jesus. John 15:5. I'm the vine, you're the branch. I'm the vine, he says. I'm the vine. Give me that burning desire, God. Give me that burning desire to do your will. And the only way you're going to get that burning desire is hook into the branch, the main bush. You don't get it in you. The branch cannot bear fruit. You know, it can't. You got to hook into the main tree. And if you don't hook into the main tree, you're not going to get it. You're just not going to get it. And he that abideth in me and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. Did you hear that? You can do nothing. Well, every day I find this word just, don't you find it rich and even better? And it, like last night, I read 4 chapters in the book of Philippians, and I was reading them, and the night before I was reading the book of Ephesians, and I was reading it and read them all, and find that they're just so comforting, and it's the word that takes. But I want to tell you, beating the devil out of you is and getting the burning desire is, well, whew, tough to get there, tough to have it, tough to but when you get it, you oh, man, I tell you, you're just on ecstasy, and it's better than any high. I've never had a high from drugs or anything. It's better than any fear that the devil puts in you. It's better than anything that the devil can even offer. There's nothing he can offer. And You know, though, the thing of it is, we wither when we do not abide in Jesus. I don't want to wither, do you? I mean, I got to constantly keep, and sometimes there's only one way. You know, you got to find the way, your outlet to what, because if you don't, you're going to stay depressed all the time. You're going to stay depressed. You know why? Because that's what the devil wants you to do. He wants you depressed. He wants you down. He wants you on the bottom. He wants you to sink. When you don't know how to make the decisions or know what to do. John 15:6 says, if a man abides not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered. And the man gathereth them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. Burned. God burns those branches, and he burns them. And if a man abides not in me, God, help me to abide in you. God, I want to abide in you, but I want more than just to abide. I want to burn. I want to burn within me to do the things of God. I want to burn within me to do the Word of God. I want to burn within me not to sin. I know that I thought a lot about, you know, we get to the point where we're really doing good, get into perfection, and all of a sudden we're at sin again. And the devil uses that on us too, just like a yo-yo. There you are, down again. Pull you up. There you are, down again. Well, all you can do is fight it. All you can do is war it and claim it. You know, what you speak out of your mouth many times. I do. I catch myself many times, and others catch me too, you know. So in conclusion of this abiding and this burning, abiding brings blessing of a burning heart for Jesus Christ. Abiding brings blessing of a burning heart for Jesus. If ye keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandment and abide in his love. I got to abide in his love. It's only the love of Jesus that will get me through this. It's only the love of Jesus that will get me through the difficult times of my life. God, give me that burning desire to do things for you. And Lord, let me be in that burning desire for you. I want to live it that way, God. His love will keep burning hearts within us. Oh, isn't that great to know? His love will keep the burning heart within us. His word, the Bible or the scriptures, will keep us keeping a burning heart. Sickness, and you can get into sickness and fight it and fight it and fight it and fight it and fight it. Sickness will burn your burning heart and put you to a cold heart. And you just got, you know, I've often wondered. I had a friend of mine. He went to prison for 12 years, and I never could understand. He always had he always seemed to be very jovial and very, never let things get him down. And he went through prison and wrote a lot of songs and still has a burning desire today. And still has that burning desire to serve God and live for God. He had it before. I don't know whether it was his fault or whose fault. Who cares whose fault it is? So the only thing that will keep your burning heart for the vision in Jesus is Jesus being present in our heart and abiding in our heart and his word in our heart. We've got to keep it there. We've got to keep the burning. We've got to keep it there. The burning must be there every day. And find out a way to get that burning to come back. Find out a way to have that burning be there. Find out that way, and it's a confession of the mouth. I want to tell you ahead of time what it is. Confession of the mouth. It's the thoughts that you have, and it's the things that people say to you that you take the wrong way. And don't let the burning burn out. Don't let the burning burn out. God wants you to burn inside for Him. This is Pastor Tim Cummings saying thank you. Keep the burning burning. Hi there, this is Pastor Tim Cummings. I have a free gift for you this month. If you will just send us a donation of $10 or more, we'll send you out The Birth of Christ. And help us to bring glory to God. That's the whole purpose of this thing. Matthew 5:16 says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. And that's what we're trying to do with this TV program, trying to minister to people. And these booklets will minister your children. They will touch their children. You read them to them at bedtime, and it'll be just such a blessing. And send it to us, and we'll be glad to get it out to you. And just a gift. Remember, just a gift of $10, and you got to request it now. If you tell them which one you want the birth of Christ, or you want David and Goliath, or you want a soul winning pamphlet, just tell us what you want. We'll send it out to you. God bless you, and thank you for being part of the program.